Everything you've been taught about saving money is wrong. Your parents weren't lying to you. Your teachers weren't lying to you. But your bank, they're definitely not going to tell you this. If you're still following the same financial advice that worked 30 years ago, you may be getting poorer every single day. You work hard, you save, you avoid unnecessary spending. So why does it feel like you're always falling behind? Here's the question nobody wants to answer. If saving money creates wealth, why aren't the biggest savers the richest people? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the wealthy think about money differently and why the Bible has been teaching this principle for thousands of years. Let me tell you a story. Meet David and Michael. They graduated college together. They landed similar jobs. They earned about the same salary. David followed the advice he'd heard his entire life. Work hard, save your money, you'll be fine. Every payday, David transferred money into his savings account. Watching that balance grow made him feel secure. Michael did something different. He also saved, but only enough to cover emergencies. Then he began investing consistently. He learned new skills. He bought assets instead of liabilities. 10 years later, David opened his bank account and smiled at the number. Then he tried buying a house. He looked at grocery prices. He checked the cost of raising a family. Suddenly, that number didn't feel so big anymore. Michael's bank balance wasn't as impressive, but his investments had grown, his income had grown, his opportunities had grown. The difference wasn't that Michael worked harder. The difference was that he understood one simple principle. Saving money protects what you have. Investing wisely has historically been one of the ways people build wealth over time. Now, don't misunderstand me. Saving money is not bad. In fact, it's essential. The Bible actually encourages wise saving. Proverbs 21:20 says, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." Every family should have an emergency fund. Every family should prepare for unexpected seasons. But somewhere along the way, people started believing that saving money was the finish line. It's not. It's the starting line. Here's why. Imagine putting $10,000 under your mattress. 10 years later, it's still $10,000. But can it buy the same groceries, the same car, the same house? Probably not, because inflation quietly reduces what your money can buy over time. That's why so many hardworking people feel stuck. They're doing everything they were taught, yet somehow they're falling behind. And here's what changed my perspective. The Bible doesn't just teach us to save, it teaches us to be faithful stewards. In Matthew 25, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. A master entrusts money to 3 servants before leaving on a journey. 2 of them put what they were given to work. 1 buried it in the ground because he was afraid. When the master returned, the servants who had multiplied what they were entrusted with were praised. The servant who buried his talent wasn't praised for protecting it. He was corrected for failing to use it. The lesson isn't to chase riches. The lesson is to faithfully manage what God has entrusted to you. Then Ecclesiastes 11:2 gives another timeless principle. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. That's diversification. Thousands of years before modern investing. God's wisdom has always pointed toward preparation, stewardship, and wise decision-making. So what does that look like today? First, build an emergency fund. Second, eliminate high-interest debt. Third, invest consistently in diversified assets you understand. Fourth, invest in yourself. The skills you develop can become your greatest financial asset. And finally, think like an owner. Own productive assets. Own businesses through investments. Own your future instead of only funding someone else's. Remember this, money has 2 jobs. It protects you today and it helps build tomorrow. So, did they lie to you? No, they taught the best advice they knew. But the economy has changed, and wise stewardship means adapting without abandoning biblical principles. Saving is wisdom. Investing wisely is stewardship. You need both. So, let me ask you, what's one money lesson you grew up believing that you've started to question? Share it in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear your perspective. If this video changed the way you think about money, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who's working hard but still feels like they're not getting ahead. Because the goal isn't just to make more money, It's to become a faithful steward of everything God has entrusted to you.